welcome. My name is Lori Cohen. I think I know the majority of you guys here. I'm the executive director of the Beagle Alliance. Of course, our mission is to rescue animals from laboratory testing, but our town hall mission really is to bring people together. I think it's important. We're spreading awareness about animal testing in Canada, but I think when we come together collectively with the love of our dogs and our animals, it kind of, the whole animal testing thing becomes a little bit more real when we can come together and realize how much we love our animals. And so the town halls aren't necessarily geared or, aren't always about animal testing. They're really just about bringing our community together and talking about how much we love our animals and how much we love animals in general. So that's long-winded. Let me welcome Liz Murdoch, who I've known for quite a while now and who has spoken with several of my dogs, and it's been amazing. And this is Liz's second time on the town hall, but this time is very special because she's going to speak. It's going to be more about hearing from the dogs than hearing from us. So welcome, Liz, animal communicator, friend to Beagle Alliance and me. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I started doing what I'm doing. It's funny, grief is a big thing these days that people are more open talking about. And my mother had passed away. And I went to a grief talk that I found on Facebook. And I was like, oh, well, where is it? It's around the corner. So I went and it was great. And in the courtyard, it was at a church. In the courtyard, there was a booth for a table for someone talking about animal communication. Did I want to take a class? And I was like, yeah, here's my money. Because of the many things I had done with dogs, doing animal evaluation and animal communication very intuitively for rescue for many years. And the training was like, sure, I want to do that. And I really feel like I was led there. And so if any of you have had moments of, grief or whatever, you just never know where it's going to lead you. So it led me to formal training with animal communication, and the practice exercises led me to, you could do this as a business, which I did. I started, and then I was like, I started a podcast talking with the dogs. And then I was like, I need to do more with this. And so an offshoot is going back to the rescues where I started evaluating dogs and doing animal communication, but not knowing I was doing it. And I am so grateful to be back working with rescues. So that's how I got where I am today. But my first understanding of a dog was in kindergarten at show and tell. So that's how I got started. My excitement about doing this with the Beagle Alliance is that the first time I talked to a Beagle, I didn't know anything about the medical dogs other than, oh, that sounds so horrible. That's me. And then I did a podcast with some dogs. I was very curious what the dogs would have to say. And I was really shocked how different their personalities were, even though I taught every dog is different, but that some of them were actually grateful for the kind people. And it's on a podcast if you want to hear that. But one of the dogs shared about a kind person in the lab, and they could tell the days of the week depending on the people that were there. And I had a new appreciation for people who work with animals in labs who may not have known that was what we're going to do, but are kind to the dogs and help them until they get out, kind of thing. So that shift in perspective. And then since that experience with that one Beagle, I've worked with many, and it's made an impact that I want to, and I will give you examples from your own dogs of what they say. But when we have a rescue dog, and all of my dogs are, wherever they come from, I want you to consider the perspective and the story that rather than my poor dog had this horrific experience, that some of them were really grateful and might actually miss that person in the lab who was kind, the one kind, And so this is about bringing out where our dogs are today and what it is that they want, and how in our shifting our perspective and getting information from them, we can then have an even better relationship and trust our own knowings of what our dogs want. I just wanted to share that because it made a big impact when I had to, even as an animal communicator, shift my own perspective that the dogs are so different. Every medical dog is very different. And some of them had some nice experiences that are just as much a part of their stories. So on that note, I'll take it to Lori on how you want to start.
Okay, well, thanks. And I love that, Liz, too, because we take the perspective. I mean, there's awesome, there's good intentioned people everywhere, and then there's not so good intentioned people in other places. And we're sort of taking the stand that we just want to do right for the animals and the animal care workers. And so I like that perspective, because we do on some level have to acknowledge that some of the people who got into the sciences, of course, wanted to help humanity. They're not all the greatest evil in the world. And we have to sort of allow for that and have compassion. And all we want to do is work with them, let the dogs have a good life, and get them out. And of course, we're going to find people who don't treat animals or humans well in every area of every business everywhere across the globe. And if we can just kind of, realize that it's not always a black and white scenario, I guess. So I like that. So why don't we start with the fact that Olive maybe started talking to you? So why don't we start with,
Olive.
Yeah, why don't we go from there, and I'll leave it to you, Liz.
Olive, thank you. Yes, Olive. So Olive, you're with Beth, is that correct? Is Olive with Beth?
Yes,
I don't, oh, they're,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Olive, I'm going to just do it how I do these sessions, and I'm going to talk to Olive. And Beth, you can turn your mic on if you want, because I consider these sort of a three-way conversation, but you don't have to. Hi.
Hi.
But Olive, I'm ready for you, and you can share whatever you want to say. Olive is like, forgive me for butting in. I'm usually not this bossy or pushy. Olive does not consider herself bossy or pushy. She just has a lot to say. She says she has a lot to say. So Olive, we are going to share the time. What's our time that for everyone, Lori?
You know what? Our time is approximately 15 minutes for everybody. So go for it. And we're missing one person, so we have a little bit extra.
Okay, perfect. So Olive, we have time. I want to start with your favorite thing so people know, and Olive is like, she knows my favorite things. So Olive, this is so that Beth knows that I'm getting information for you, and people can know I'm not just saying that you like belly rubs. She actually doesn't like belly rubs, as she's correcting me. She's very outspoken. So you're doing great, Olive. So I want people to learn how this works by watching. So Olive, belly rubs aren't your favorite. I'm particular. Pardon, Beth? I didn't know she said something. Okay. So Olive says, I'm particular on where and how I am touched. And by who. I don't like to be touched by just anybody. And some people at all. Okay. And what else, Olive, do you want to say? That's it on that, the touching. I'm sensitive to nails. Olive's sensitive. Okay. Doesn't nails poke? May have been. Oh, I don't need to know if Olive came from a lab or anything. But then, if someone has fingernails, it doesn't like anything sharp. Is like that's almost like a trigger. Doesn't like. I mean, I feel sort of nauseous and woozy.
All right, go ahead, Communicator. Come on, yeah.
Doesn't like nails. If you've ever noticed there's someone with nails, how it feels and pokes and things. She's sensitive to that. But Olive, let's go about the favorite things, the things you do like. And this is common with dogs that have had things that they don't like. So what do you like? They're used to talking about what they don't like. Olive, and then we're going to let you talk about other things. And I will say, if anyone has questions about their dogs, make sure you write them down, because I do want to answer if you have questions. It's not just going to be me talking at what the dogs say. So Olive, can you tell me some other favorite things so Beth knows what you would like more of? If anything, or what you need? Oh gosh. Okay, so Olive is like Olive says more dates. So, and this is where when I tell you anybody about a word, I have to think, okay, what does that mean? Is it outings? But it's definitely these special times. And I'm going to ask you if you can explain, if you know what these special, very intentional times together. And it feels almost like it's in the home. Whereas some dogs, they like certain outings. I had a dog yesterday that likes car rides and described the exact car ride.
Mhm.
Olive was asking for this time together where you're like, okay, we're going to go do it now. Do you know what that means that she's talking about?
I'm thinking it's to do just like my work schedule has been a bit crazy, so I think like I know she doesn't like when I leave in the
Right.
mornings, and I think it's time with sometimes it's her and I have a cat, so I think sometimes there's a little bit of times where she's annoyed because my cat they fight over kind of like siblings of
Yeah.
who's going to sit on top of me or even sleeping positions.
So can you think of a time? So she wants her one-on-one time, or where you're all situated together and I have you and the cat can be somewhere, but she's feeling very connected and you're not doing other things. It's our
Okay.
time together. It feels like, in the very broad sense, like anyone on this call, I could say, what's an ideal date? If you were to go on a date with anyone, what would it be like? This is her ideal date. So I am feeling this. It's like sitting together, you're close, and it's that feeling of being fully present. So like
Not working. Yeah.
not working, no phone there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all together. And she wants more of that. That's her favorite thing. She wants more of it.
Okay.
She loves it. And when I say that, like when I said the thing about the nails and I felt woozy, when I feel this idea of you all sitting together in this date kind of fully present scenario, this whole area feels opened up and very calm. So when you notice behavior with her where she wants to settle or what's going on, that's what opens her up, is just sitting with her and being with her. She loves that.
Yeah, I think that's also we have family Reiki times, whatever I do Reiki with the two of them.
Interesting. So do you want to ask a question about Olive or anything about her?
It's funny. That's the one thing I didn't think about today.
So I'm fine if Lori or someone can track the time. I'm fine going to someone else and and then coming back if you do have a question, or you can email me, because I really like these conversations to be three-way, where people get to ask, because you and I may never talk again about your dog and animal communication, but if I can at least leave you with the sense that you're going to trust all of your own knowings a bit and then act on them, then my job is really done. So I'm happy to have you reach out later if you want.
Thank you. That would be great, because it's a long day. I always have so many questions, and then when I can finally ask them, I didn't write anything down.
Yeah. I usually tell everyone to do that, and I apologize to everyone, but those of you who I haven't talked to your dogs yet, write them down, because even if you think it's so obvious, it can be surprising what they say, and it's nice to be able to refer to it if you do have a question. So, okay.
Yeah, I'll just, no, I appreciate that. Thanks, Liz. And I know, and that's kind of my bad. I never really thought about the questions, and I should have emailed you guys and said, hey, if you have any questions, give it some thought, but it never occurred to me. And I found when I've been with Liz, chatting with my dogs, that I get a little bit stuck on the questions. I do want to say, though, that I just for future but I spoke with Liz with my dogs at kind of the way we are doing now. And then when my dog got sick, I spoke with Liz because I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing and that I knew what he wanted. And when I finally realized that it was the end of his life, I just wanted to make sure I was doing everything he wanted. And that was really helpful. So that really the big thing for me at the time. So just in case, Beth, you think of some questions as we go along, you know, favorite things, what you don't like. I think Liz already touched on that a little bit. I actually, you know, found out that he didn't like certain people and that they weren't as great of friends. Like, it was very interesting, the insight he had. So I'm going to leave that with you, because during the course of this hour or so and more, you might come up with something while we're talking here, and then please, by all means, unmute yourself and or put your hand up or whatever we want to do. We're a small group, but I think we're missing a couple of people who were going to join and talk to dogs. But Lalani, I know you were going to have a conversation with Liz, and I don't know how your internet is, because I know you're a little bit in and out, and I get that because my internet's always scattered. But so let's just say this. I know that Chris has dogs, and I think we even talked to one of Chris's dogs last time, just impromptu while we were doing this. It wasn't a plan, it was impromptu. And Colleen has her little German Shepherd. So we could, if anyone wants to pop in, we might as well just go with it, because we have a little bit of time. So if you're okay with that, Liz, we'll just make this really spontaneous. And if Colleen, you want to bring Gunner on the screen, or Chris, whichever dog you want to talk to. But Lalani, did you want to go next? Do you have some questions for Liz, or just want to hear from Liz?
Yes, we've got a storm that's coming in soon. Carmelita with me.
Carmelita?
I have Carmelita and Charlie with me. I'm going to see if I can get them on camera. I'm multitasking. My rescue kid is wanting food. There's Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. I'm
And
Liz.
here's Carmelita.
Hi, Carmelita. How are you? Yeah, Carmelita. Okay. Do you have a preference on who goes first?
Doesn't matter. Whoever is jumping out at you first. Might be Carmelita because she's the alpha.
It is Carmelita. That I got something from her right away. So I'm going, because Lalani has intermittent service, I'm going to just talk to the dogs. And if she can't hear it, I guess Lori's got it recorded. So
I've got, just so everyone knows, yes, I have it recorded, and we'll be
to keep it moving along.
Exactly. We'll be on site. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
I'm going to talk to Carmelita. This is an example, animal communicators we can also do it, many of us, without seeing the dogs. And I feel a connection with Carmelita right away. So I'm just going to keep going. In my sessions, I usually see the dogs all the way through, but this is fine. And you can see another way of how that works. So Carmelita immediately said she has aches. So it's like, I have aches, and I could feel them in my joints, sort of, and it not like big pain. And here's the disclaimer again: I don't diagnose and I don't prescribe. I describe what I'm getting so you can use the information. But I feel like a tightness sort of here in my shoulders, into my elbow, and sort of down, and it's sort of creaky and stuck, like the Tin Man possibly, who might want some oil or something to move. And that's what Carmelita right away, she goes, I have aches. So Leilani, just however I want, whenever it's about the body, people like to ask questions sometimes. Can you hear me? Is your Wi-Fi working?
Yes, I can hear you. And thank you. Yes, Carmelita,
So it's going in and out. So
Yeah,
I think she was, does she have aches that you know about?
Oh, she's a little bit frozen there, I think.
Okay.
So if you want to.
So often, yeah. So she has these aches. Carmelita can figure that out. Email me if she wants me to clarify it anymore. But that's pretty much what she says about the aches. Oh, she's like, they slow me down. So people sometimes use that. Oh, I know. I don't give her whatever the meds. We won't say meds. Whatever your treatment is. Again, I don't prescribe, but whatever someone's doing for their dog to make them more comfortable. Carmelita says it slows me down, the aches, and she could use a little something, whatever that is. Okay. Or maybe it's just a visit to the vet or whoever you go to, about a little something because of her aches. So Carmelita, do you want to share any favorite things? Oh gosh, the food for sure. So apparently Leilani, I can see, hands these treats down. She stands and she hands them down. And Carmelita likes that, but she knows that she gets in the way of Charlie, and that she likes it when there's more space between them and they don't have to. It's not that she's not tempted to get into Charlie's space, that when she gives the handouts and there's space around them and it's the delicious, she says, don't change the food. Don't. And some dogs do say that, don't change. She likes the food handouts, but she likes when there's space between Charlie. Now, this is where I get sensitive. Well, she already said it. Carmelita was the alpha. How do I know? And what can Leilani use to make that very real to her? So I'm seeing her hand in it's in the kitchen, and sometimes, oh, Charlie will walk up. I've never been to their house. Charlie will walk up and get close to Carmelita. I wonder if it feels like Charlie's vision and hearing makes it so Charlie can be slower. So he's just trying to, or maybe Charlie could be Charlie's trying to get the treat, but gets close to Carmelita. Carmelita is interpreting it a different way. Like, wait a minute, that's mine. Whereas Charlie's just saying, where's the treat? I want some. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah, that's totally like them. But they're, I didn't get them until they were both almost a year old. And I got cut off, as you know. But anyway, Carmelita was run over by a car and her owners were going to put her to sleep. And she dragged her back in and put her paws on my thigh and looked me in the eye and I said, that's not an animal that wants to die. And they're both, don't tell them, but they're going to be 13 next month. So she gets massages and joint mobilizations, and I try and keep her as less achy as possible. Charlie's a big love bug. You know, he's very gentlemanly, but she had to fight for food. There were like 5 dogs, and the food was just thrown on the ground. So she's quite protective of food.
So do you hand it down to her now so she
Anyway, yeah, or I put it in front of her and I say mine, and then I say, okay. She's just now starting, after all these years, taking it very gently from my hand instead of like wanting to eat my hand.
Yeah, she loves it. So the further apart she and Charlie are, the easier it is for her to remember to go slow, because that's what she loves, that space, and it helps.
Yeah, I now put her food in the kitchen, and he's totally in a different.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I
She's
love
much
that.
More relaxed about that. So
it makes a big difference. And she's like, don't change the food. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Yeah. That's because they're both seniors now. Charlie's to keep both of them as healthy as possible, special needs.
So it's cutting out a lot.
So
maybe
the one question is his obsession doesn't, like, he's so picky, and it changes. He only wants this one bowl, and then he only wants that bowl, and he'll wait the whole day to drink out of that bowl.
Okay.
I've asked him what it was about, but I wasn't quite understanding.
So what I got was jaw.
I knew what he was trying to tell me.
In his mouth. I get a jaw sensitivity. Hi there. So the way,
That's him.
hi there, Charlie. What's going on with the bowl in the water? So I get, just like Carmelita said, I have aches. Charlie seems to have some kind of sensitivity in the mouth. And so bending down, it feels pressure in the neck and here. And I think that I feel like he has a little discomfort, pain sometimes. And so that affects him, whether it's, again, I can't diagnose. I'm trying to describe, it's intermittent, whether it's a pinched nerve. So I have a vet tracker I can send you where you track to keep doing as you do your Reiki and your massage and everything, notice when he's had treatment and how he's doing physically with how that affects him eating from a bowl and moving his neck and his mouth. And whoever's working with Charlie as a Reiki practitioner, et cetera, maybe Leilani, they can work together to kind of pinpoint what's triggering this, that, some days are better than others because of what's going on in this neck jaw area, which then affects the food. So that's what I'm getting. And even the mouth, the teeth, like there's just something that's physically making it harder for him to eat or drink. So that's what I'm getting, but the diagnosis will come from someone else. Okay, so should we move on, Lori?
Sorry, guys, I was muted. Yes, let's move on. Leilani dropped off, but she'll be able to get all this info. Just so you guys know, I put in Liz's website into the chat there. Just that way you can contact. I saw that my Lily jumped up. I don't know if she said anything to you. I'm going to leave that though, because I saw Gunnar was with you as well, Colleen. And I know you're muted right now, but maybe we want to talk to Gunnar. Like, how do you feel about talking to Gunnar right now? And sorry, I'm putting you on the spot and you're
Oh,
muted.
I'm fine. I talk to anyone.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And we'll get to Lily. And I do want to do Beags, because when we first set this up, I said to Lori, Beags wants to come through.
Okay.
I just knew that. So we're going to do that.
And I appreciate that. And just for you guys, Beags is my dog Trouble, who died last year, and Liz walked me through that. And it was really special. And she helped me through a very hard time, as you guys can imagine. And when we set this up, she said that he spoke to her and that she wanted to wait till the meeting, which I'm admitting I wasn't entirely comfortable with, because there might be some tears here. So we'll go with that. But and then Beth, if any questions have popped into your head, by all means. And Chris, if you have any questions or you want your dogs to pop in. But Colleen, what do you think about Gunnar? Do you want to get her on the screen, or what are you thinking? Colleen, you'll have to unmute. Unmute yourself. Here, I'll send this to you. Hold on, guys. There we go.
How's that?
That's great.
Okay.
We can hear you.
That's Gunnar.
There's Gunnar. Yeah.
Hi, Gunnar. Gunnar, I'm Liz. I'm an animal communicator. Now's your chance to say whatever you want. Do you want to say anything? So what I immediately got from Gunnar before she unmuted, which was funny that we had to have her unmute, is Gunnar's like, I'm shy. So Gunnar, you don't have to be shy. I know you can be there you go. I know you can be chatty with certain people, and now's your chance to do it with all of us. And Colleen, no, she's not going to get mad. She's going to think it's sort of interesting. And let's surprise her, Gunnar. What are some of your favorite things that you like your spot? Gunnar likes the sunshine, is this big sunshine person. I'm a sunshine boy, is what he says. Are you aware of how much he likes the sunshine, Colleen?
Yes.
Girl,
Yes.
Liz, girl, interesting girl.
Yeah.
Gunnar's a
think so.
Girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's a male name.
Listen, I'm in LA, so it's my mistake.
Okay.
My mistake. So Gunnar likes the sunshine a lot. Favorite thing, prances, becomes a different kind of dog in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Gunnar, what else can you say about you would like to go there now? Well, we're going to have our little chat. So, Gunnar, what else could people know that you might want to say? You're shy, you're very selective, but selective in a different way. So Gunnar's the kind of dog that some dogs are selective, especially with our rescue dogs that we don't know, that they may have had experiences that we just don't know about. Gunnar is more selective, like, I want to go where the party is. And that's where Gunnar's going, right? It's not about, I'm afraid, I don't want this. It's like Gunnar's like, I want to go where the good guys are, kind of the good people.
Yes.
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 So, Gunnar, you want the good time, even though you're shy. So what does that have to say? Why did you even tell me that? Why is that important to know? Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is a tip for Colleen from Gunnar, is
Okay.
that because Gunnar gives you mixed messages sometimes, that I like the people and the party, but Gunnar's also saying sometimes I like to just be there and stay back. I don't want to meet everyone. I just want to be there with the party.
Okay.
Like, okay, so Gunnar, this is my attempt at the right word. It's like wallflower, but Gunnar says I am not a wallflower. It's like
Okay.
I like to stand back, but I'm still having a lot of fun. This is just how I have fun, but I still would rather be at the party than left at home. I like to be with people, or even if, say, we were all coming to your house, Colleen, Gunnar's fine if we're all there in the same room. But if Gunnar goes and sits in the corner, Gunnar wants you and everyone else to know nothing's wrong. I just like it here. I get a better view, kind of thing.
Perfect.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Just-
Do you want to have any
Thank
questions
you.
you want to ask?
If we introduced an adopted dog, an older one,
Okay.
what do you think? What would Gunnar experience?
Okay. So Gunnar's sort of laughing because it's like Gunnar says this is a trick question because you already have a really good idea and you know exactly what I would think. So Gunnar's like warning me that this is a trick question. I've never had a dog tell me that it's a trick question. Okay, so Gunnar, how do I answer this so that I'm not put on the spot, nor is Colleen, but we're answering. Hi there, Gunnar. What do you think about having another dog in the house? Okay, so Gunnar says I'm fine with other dogs. You know that, with certain dogs. And this has happened before too, where the dog pushes back and says, seriously, how are you with the other dog? You're the one who's on the fence. If you want the extra work, Gunnar is totally pushing back, right?
Okay.
Do you have
Okay.
your answer? Should I stop?
I do. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
We do okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Good girl.
Awesome. That's so sweet.
Yeah, what a nice dog. It's interesting how a dog, that's a great example, can say I'm shy, but it's not like a fearful kind of shy.
Right. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Lori.
Okay. Go for it, Liz.
So I want to go to Chris, if Chris is willing to go, because I had mentioned to Lori that someone reached out. So Chris, you were so gracious and you sent me a follow-up, and I was traveling where you gave me wonderful update. I had given you assignment to look up EFT, right? And so I teach EFT is tapping, and we had a session and I was like, well, your dog is happy, and I never talk about other people's sessions, but what I did say, and I want Chris to touch on this, is I said, look up EFT tapping and see what happens. Will you tell people what happened?
Well, she started to calm down and he relaxed. And since then, we did it for a week, and he's only having very mild. So it definitely works. He just starts the tapping, and he seems to calm down quite a bit.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Chris, you're just cutting in and out a little bit, and I'm not sure but you're there. I'm not sure if it's your computer because your internet seems okay, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I just want everyone to hear you because it sounded really awesome, actually.
So while he's figuring that out, the reason I thought it was so important is I didn't even teach him. I may have said 2 or 3 sentences, but it was at the sort of the end of our conversation, and he was trying to get some specific answers about things, and we did that. And I was like, I want you to go look it up. And this is what happens for any of you when you take some of the input that you get from your dogs through me, and you go explore, well, what would happen if I did X that I got from the dog? And his experience was that it significantly reduced symptoms of anxiety or whatever that they were experiencing with their dog. And it was a huge shift. And that's the power of animal communication and listening to what your dogs are saying. So, Chris, thank you for letting me touch on that. I don't know if your internet's better and you want to add.
I think it's my microphone. My internet seems to be fine. It's just my speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, now we can hear you. Now we can hear you kind of better, Chris, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I was just too far away from it, holding her.
So you noticed reduced anxiety. You went ahead with the tapping just by what Liz had spoken to, just had the conversation. And then, because you have laboratory testing survivors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of PTSD and anxiety attached to that, as we know.
Yeah, she's done wonderful on the tapping, on the EFT. So we've kind of incorporated that in whenever she has any kind of episodes or anything like that. But I gave Liz an update on how well it worked and how much we appreciated her taking the time to sit down with us and explain what's going on with her and what seems to be happening. And so that kind of helped us. She helped us facilitate with Katori on how to, kind of relax her and calm her down, just kind of let things go. And since then, she's actually been a lot, I guess, her anxiety isn't as much and her PTSD isn't as much. So
that's amazing. That's so amazing because I never thought about that. And we just did a rescue in Calgary, Alberta, a month ago, and the dogs that came out of the lab, Mary and I have placed a lot of dogs from laboratories, and these guys were actually one of the most traumatized group that we've seen in a very long time. And so it never clicked in to do that. And I'm going to reach out to the fosters and adopters and get them going on that, because they've been really an anxious group. And so
yeah, I highly recommend it because it is a great tool to use.
Yeah, I love that. I love that hearing from both of you, and especially also the fact, Chris, that I know your dogs are from kindness, right? We know they're from laboratory testing. And so essentially, if it works on a dog coming out of a laboratory, that's the extreme situation. So that's pretty.
Yeah. It's amazing. Now, I will say as a disclaimer, I got to the recommendation because of what our conversation was. And so just like, I think it was Colleen or Leilani who was talking about the Reiki, that.
Oh, no, it was Beth. It was Beth. Yeah.
It can depend on the dog. Some dogs respond more to one thing than another.
Right.
But, or whatever your dog is saying is just so important to go down that rabbit hole of your dog wants to try, party time with grandpa every Saturday, which I have said things like that. Those things, Lori, they make a difference. Right. They make a difference. The weirdest thing. So Chris, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And, I have info on tapping. I can send to Lori, or we can do a tapping session.
I love that. Please. I love that. That's amazing. I would actually like to put that information into foster packs and adopter information. I mean, that's crucial. Yeah, that's really amazing.
Okay, so we'll talk. So where do we want to go next? Do you want to ask something new, Chris? I know I jumped onto that because I thought it would help people, but do you want to talk about Katori and see whether she has an update or someone else in your home?
Well, she's just kind of laying by the door right now.
Okay, well, I can see what she has to say.
Sure. I don't know
Okay,
if you can-
so it's okay. So Katori, it's Liz. We talked a long time ago. Okay, so Katori's like, it wasn't that long ago. So that's interesting. It shows that dogs have a different perspective once again, because in Katori's life, it wasn't that long ago. So, okay, Katori, it wasn't that long ago. Katori wants to say thank you. Oh, yeah. So Katori, thank you for sharing and being here tonight with Chris. I'm glad that you came. You wouldn't have missed it. Oh, you're sweet. Wouldn't okay. And then she's sort of like, ha ha, like where else would I be? Huh. Katori has a sense of humor, Chris. Like
Yeah, she seems to think she's pretty funny.
she's sort of like, where else would we go? I go where Chris goes. It's not like I'm going to leave the house. I've got it pretty good here. Okay, so Katori, I love your personality. It's definitely like exploded blossom. You're not a fraidy dog. I think you said that before. You weren't really a fraidy dog. Katori, what's important for today that Chris can know to keep going? Okay, so wet. Okay. Katori is talking about wet or damp, doesn't like things wet, whatever that means to you. If something's damp or wet, Katori is picky about, oh, and maybe in the past, if there was dampness in a crate or something, it really doesn't like the least bit of dampness. It's like, it's first it started uncomfortable, like if someone had like a wet sock, but then it's creeping up to me like a full-fledged panic attack. So oh gosh, so Chris, if Katori is out, Katori, I want you to help me be real specific on this. If Katori is wet, or if there's something like a shower, damp towels just are like firecrackers. Have you ever noticed that?
No.
Okay. So Katori doesn't like getting like wet, it's like whether it's the paws or something, something to be aware of. And sometimes we don't notice things, and then we're like, oh, this makes sense. If Katori's paws are wet from being outside, Katori doesn't like damp towels. And I'm like this.
Chris, we're not hearing you at all. So maybe you want to type it in. Go for the typing if you don't mind, because we didn't hear anything.
How's that?
Oh, there you go.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, it has rained and we've had to dry her off with a towel, but I mean, she didn't seem to mind it. She does seem to mind after the sprinklers have come on in the yard, going out into the yard with her paws. She kind of wants to stay on the patio.
She does not like the dampness at all. It's a trigger. It's like it's like fireworks for some other dogs, that dampness. It just being stuck in it. I think there were times where there was a dampness in a crate or something. It's just unpleasant. I'm like this. Just I don't want. My whole body is feeling like I want to go like that, and it's those paws. So just be aware if you baths or toweling off, that it's a dry towel and you get rid of it and you make it a very positive experience. And that's probably why, like, the sprinklers wanting you to know, I don't like being wet. I mean, I've got wet and then damp, and I've drawn lines, like, doesn't like it.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, I just want to keep going. I know I've made my point, but there's more that I could say about it, but I won't, because you got the point.
Right.
It's intense. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, she don't like it.
Okay, so Katori, I want this energy to go. We're not going to end on that note with you. Okay, Katori, what's something else? What's been going really well that you like besides the tapping? Okay. Okay, so what's the deal with the ice cream? It's like, are you giving Katori ice cream or something like? It's like a special treat.
Well, she is pretty spoiled. No, I haven't given her any ice cream.
Is it something cold? I mean, Katori, what is it? Why I'm thinking because to me it feels like it's an ice cream, some kind. She licks it. What is it, Katori? You're liking the treats. They're food treats. That's going well. Wants more of it. It's like you're outside, like a popsicle, something that she's licking. Something very flavorful. What is she licking?
I made them all some frozen Greek yogurt with like some fruit in it, and I froze it. So when it was hot, I would bring it out and give it
Okay.
to them.
So
So
this
that's
is
probably
why,
what it is.
this is why the words that I say make a difference. Like I'm like, oh, it's ice cream. It's something like that. And he's like, no, but it's frozen yogurt.
It's awesome.
I'm like, when I told someone once about a shoe and she's like, no. And then I'm like, and then she goes, well, could it be a slipper? And I'm like, well, yeah. So when I say words to you, take it with a grain of salt because I'm translating into words from a dog. But thank you, Chris, for verifying. I know it's not ice cream, but in my translation, keep up the good work. Katori loves it.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, who's next? Unless you have a last question, or you can
No,
email
I'm
me.
good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, Lori.
Okay, go. Why did Lily hop up on my lap and stare at you into the?
Oh, Lily. Does Lily want to come back? Lily will only come back if invited.
Okay, Lil, you coming back or what are you doing? She's on the ground by my feet, which
That's because she's respecting you, Lori. She's like this. Lori knows I'm not to do that. She wants you to pick her up, bring her, invite her. You have to invite her. She's not going to do it.
oh my gosh. Well, come on. How spoiled can we get? Lils, come on. Come on.
No. She's saying you taught me that's how you like it here.
It's true, but she sometimes does it anyway. Now, look, here she is. Okay.
All right.
Talk to everybody.
Lily, what's the deal? Hi.
Oh, little Lily. Okay.
Hi, Lily. You can take as much time as you want. We want to know. You don't have to wait. Hi, sweet girl. I'm glad you took the initiative and spoke up. Oh gosh, that's a big thing for Lily to speak up and affirming her that she was allowed to speak up. Yes, get comfortable. Yeah, get comfortable. There you go. You got, hi, Lily. Can I take a picture of this?
Yeah. Please.
Okay, Lily, I'm so glad you took the initiative and we're going to talk. And
look at Liz. Look at Liz.
Lily. Okay, so Lily, she likes that position. It's okay. We want her to be comfortable. So Lily, what do you want to talk about? What did you need Lori to know? Oh, more time outside for both of us. She says she's been trying to get you outside more often with me. It's good for both of us. Whatever, I don't know. And this is why I say I'm not psychic. I don't know what's going on in Lori's life. I don't know. I just see that this dog is trying to get Lori outside for these walks. And sometimes, because whatever happens, they're so good for you, the two of you, for us.
Yeah.
These walks. She's like looking out for you, that we need more of these walks. And every so often, an animal will share something like this. And when the person implements it, it changes. It's happened twice with people where it has changed their careers. One woman's career just took off. The other one, she changed directions. The dog wanted her to change her desk 90 degrees. Oh, and wow. She changed her whole business. And Lily wants to get you outside for more walks.
Okay.
It's like she could take you now, she would pull you outside.
Okay, well, we do spend a lot of time outside, but we did start we have a new walking area, so she must really like it.
Yes, more of it and further. And it's like, so I'm seeing this, but she wants to go deep. She wants to just know every inch of that area. Sorry. Okay. But it's not just for her. She says it's good for both of us.
Yes, and well, Poppy is with us too, and Poppy's the little rescue beagle, but Poppy, Poppy needs to be restrained because she's a bit out of control.
She doesn't want to talk right now. She's not ready. She's
Oh,
not
that
ready for
makes sense.
this.
That makes sense. Yeah, Poppy is shy.
She's shy. She says no. I've never had a dog say no.
Okay.
Lily, do you have anything else to say? You want to get outside? Yeah, you like it here. Oh yeah. So I guess Lily's working on boundaries in because she's, oh gosh, in the house. Lily's like, well, she's a little pushy. It feels, she's like, she's saying to Lori, like, you need to share more with me, but I can tell it's a push. Like she's trying to push you into, it's like she's trying to pull the whole leash this way, and I can feel this. So Lily, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Like I got the ice cream wrong. It was frozen yogurt. I want to make this as helpful as possible for Lori and anyone else. So Lily, what is it about sharing? Okay, so she wants interest. So when she says sharing, it's like she wants opportunity. Wow. She's sort of brazen, Lori. She wants opportunity to take the lead even more. But I'm like, Lily, that's a lot because you're sharing a house and you're the dog and the person is still has to take care of the whole house. So what does that mean specifically, Lily? And Lily, from Lily's perspective, she's ready for more responsibility.
She wants to be responsible for the baby horse, Liz, that was just born on my property. I bet you if you ask her that, that's going to be it. She's going to want that responsibility, I think.
Oh, okay. So she says she knows the problem is she gets underfoot. And okay, so Lily, there's a baby horse and I know you want out there. Okay, so she's like, fine. She's like, I will cooperate. She's like, show me what I can do and where I can go, because I feel like the challenge that she knows it, is that she gets underfoot and she wants to go in. I just see these horses' legs and she's dangerous.
Yeah.
Lily, Lily, you're dangerous. So she's asking for you to help her show me where and when I can, and if you can, she's like, let me do a little, keep teaching me, because I really want it. So she's almost pleading with you to show me a little bit more what I can do, like a training, like hardcore training with her, what she can do, because she really wants it.
Yeah, she's obsessed with them. She literally wakes up in the morning and looks at me to go to the barn. Like, I need to go there.
She does. And I think that I'm feeling like it could be a good thing, but she needs help in, it's like the leash and the legs that's dangerous too, because she's so fast.
Yeah. So I'll bring her on a leash and she can maneuver around safely.
Yes, but you're going to have to really control the leash because she'll pull and then it's like, it's dangerous.
Dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Lily. Okay. So Lily, you did good. How did I do, Lily? Did I get it right? Okay. So she's saying that it can be short spurts.
Well, I'm glad we're on her time frame.
Yeah. She's like, okay. She's like, I'm willing to work with you. You can tell I'm translating what I'm getting, a big thing against it, but it's like she's okay with a short amount of time as long as you give her a little bit. Like my dogs, when I give them a treat and they've had enough to eat, they get one Cheerio and they're happy.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So give her like maybe 2 Cheerios worth of horse time.
Okay. Okay.
That's the only prescription I can give safely.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll say Beags for last.
Well, I think we're at Beags because everyone has had their dog, unless anyone has any questions or any other dogs want to speak. I think we're at that time. So,
okay. Does anyone have a question? The last minute, or a dog? Anyone want to say?
I just had a question. I finally thought of something.
Okay.
I don't really know anything about the first 12 years of Olive's life. She just came to me last August, and sometimes I get a sense that she's afraid of certain things, and I'm just wondering if there's anything I can do to make her feel safer, a bit more secure.
Okay, so when Lori said, is there anyone else or another dog? I wrote down Olive. And and she's not afraid. She says she's
Okay.
not afraid.
Okay.
So this is a good example of us shifting our perspectives. So I
Okay.
will ask her, Olive, if you're not, and yes, Kitty, I hear you meowing, so you get a chance too, because Lori said if an animal wants to say something, and the cat responded, Olive, what is it so sometimes it seems like you're afraid. That's how it's coming across. What is it really that, oh, okay, so you're not afraid. I can't. Okay, so it's not that I'm afraid. It's like I can't see. She's saying it clearly. I can't see it
Oh.
clearly, and trying to make it out. So it's not. And rather than afraid, it's. And she wouldn't say it's confused. It's. I'm not afraid. I'm hesitant to make out what's happening.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I feel so relieved. That's what it is. But she's not
Okay.
afraid. She's like, just
Okay.
what is that?
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so where's the cat? What's the cat's name?
That's Molly.
Okay, so Molly, you said, is a rescue cat.
Molly people had passed away, and my friend has a rescue, and she called me to see if we could provide a home for her because she was scaring the customers at the foster care place with her meowing.
Yeah, she doesn't want to leave you. That's her big thing. So if you're going to keep her, the sooner you tell her, not keep her, if you're going to allow her to stay forever, the sooner you tell her, the meowing will settle down, because she, just like Olive trying to figure it out, she's trying to make sense of, she wants to stay and she'd rather know if she's not. So if you tell her, I'm going to find you the best home for you, just that the communication with her will help her know, because if you're keeping her, even your physical movements would probably be different than if you're going to place her. I've fostered too, so.
Oh, actually, it's funny because she's actually been with me for a while. I think I never told her that it was just, I think because even with the foster care, the person was just kind of like, it was said foster, but really we knew she was staying forever. We just, I think, didn't mention it to her because she just became such a natural part of the family. Like, she was with me when my other dog Pico passed, and helped me through that. And now she's, I don't know, her and Olive have an interesting relationship, I guess. I call it the Golden Girls, but yeah, no, she's amazing.
So yeah, so she doesn't know that she's invited to live there forever.
Okay.
And when you said she and Oliver, they consider it a threesome with you. It's us, not them. Yeah. They see it as a we and an us. So consider how you shift that with her and Oliver, like, we're going to watch TV now, or we're going to sit here. Oh yeah, I feel so much better. Yeah. And she stopped meowing.
Yep.
So this is so cool. This is like the start of her life. Like, this is kind of a monumental night. Now she knows this is forever home. This is so cool. I love it.
That was great.
She got to speak up. She had
That's awesome.
Question. That's the perfect way to close it down. Again, anyone reach out to me. I'm going to go to B.
Okay, go to
That's
B. Okay. That was awesome though. That makes me so happy for her. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, what is B?
Yes.
What is my Beagle going to say, and am I going to cry? That's the question.
Well, I don't know if you're going to cry. I might. Okay, so for those of you who, I don't know how much you know about Beags, we had many sessions, and there were times where Lori was told and that it's probably time, you might want to consider this by whoever, doesn't matter. And so she had the great conflict, which I help people with a lot. And often the answer is, no, I'm not ready. And Lori's been open about this before, where Beeg said, you need to have a birthday party. And I'm like, oh gosh, because they say these things. I'm like, remember? Yes. And I go, okay, well, this dog that's not doing well. And she usually had a friend or someone witnessing this. And so Beegs wanted her to have a birthday party. And I was like, okay, meanwhile, the vet's saying otherwise. it had just been Lori's birthday and she had canceled her birthday party to be with Beags, and Beags is saying have a birthday party, which they did. And so again, when these animals say things, explore how it could be relevant and important. So Lori and I talked about doing this. Beags said, I want to talk. I don't know how this happens. I am not a huge reincarnation person. I mean, I haven't studied it. I don't have strong convictions, but I do get messages. So I'm just going to share Beags. Okay, so Beags said I did that fine. Okay, so Beags, what is it that you want in this group to share for Lori? So I'm going to write to organize.
I'm going to just tell everybody that my boy, his name was Trouble because we knew we'd fall in love with him and it would be trouble. But he is the portrait behind me that my friends had done for me and sent after he died. So he's, I don't know, I'm on Zoom, I'm going the wrong way, but he's behind me. So.
Okay, so I'm writing this.
Okay, I'm waiting. and nervous.
Okay. So he's saying stuff, and I will share this. And I'm saying to him, it seems general. I want specifics so she knows, but maybe I don't need to know. I'm overthinking. Okay, so he started off, Lori, with you're doing a great job with what you're doing and what I've told you to do. And Lori made promises. He wanted her in one of our sessions to tell him things that she would do and promise. Do you remember that, Lori?
I do. Yeah.
So she had to promise him that she would do whatever. And I'm not going to share details. Okay. So he's saying he wants you to know you're doing a great job with those. And that he wants you to know that just because people don't always say or show that they've heard it, received it. We talked about people who said they were going to be here, but couldn't, and I think this applies for all of us, is just because people don't always say or show it. He goes, just like me, this is Big saying, we are still here in a different way. And meaning also, I'm getting that I wrote this, keep doing and talking and being you, like being you, all of you, Lori, keep being you, because even when people don't always say or show that they're aware of your efforts or receiving them, they are, just like I am, but in a different way. Yeah. Okay, so I'm like, well, Biggs, this is great, but I want to know, because I know people will say, well, I want specifics. And he's like, okay, when you get the signs, I guess he's given you some signs. He wants you to go deeper with them. And I'm like, well, that's a hard one. I had a dog that passed away, where sometimes when we get feelings or something, they can be fleeting. And he's inviting you to grab on and try and go deeper. Oh, he's like, go deeper with me into that. And that we fight it. You fight it sometimes. And he wants you to allow him to pull you wherever, whether it's dreamlike vision that you're getting, memory. He wants you to go with that, is another thing he wants. Okay. So Biggs, is that helpful?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Because, I have their portraits, Journey, who died 2 months after he did, and that came as more of a shock. She was good that morning and then gone that night. And and so, yeah, remember that. And so I have 2 portraits of them when I walk down the stairs, and I say good morning to them every morning. And then something will pop in my head and I'll be like, no, don't go there. Like you'll sidetrack your day if you go into that grief. So just don't go there. Right.
So I want you to consider a day when it happens where you do go there and not be afraid of it, but maybe it's going to lead you to the even better day. And
Okay.
there's some reason why you're supposed to go there. I mean, clearly, because he's saying go deeper.
Okay.
And that, so allow, you know, whatever, give yourself time to see what happens when you go deeper. Because he says you're ready. You're ready. Go deeper. Okay. So Beegs, what else? People have questions sometimes. What can you tell us? What can you tell Lori? You and I had a lot of sessions before Beegs, and I remember a lot of those sessions. Okay, so he says that you changed the furniture. You move things around.
I did a little bit, not excessively, but a little bit. Yeah.
Well, in his mind, you see, you moved things. It's like she moved things around. And why, I'm going to ask him, why is this important? So for those of you who practice this with your own dogs, or you want to try this, when you get a message or a word or an image or something from an animal, and you're like, well, all I got was the ball. Ask them, why is it important? Why are you telling me that now? So I'm going to ask him, why does the furniture make a difference? Oh, because he says he's fine and he forgives you. Like, you don't have to worry about guilt, that it's fine to change things up. I'm not here in that way. Don't be guilty. That's why.
Okay.
He's over a lot of the material things. They don't matter. Just, you know, when he said, keep being you, do what you need to do in your life. Wow. Yeah. He doesn't care where you put things. I think it's very freeing for all of us that our animals, well, I don't like to generalize about animals and what they say, but he's not tied to that you keeping it the same way, you being the same person you were with me. You take the best of us with you. And he's like, when I was messy, he says, when he was messy, you just learn from it and make things easier for next time, kind of thing. He's very much like that.
Sorry. Yeah.
You want to say
I
something?
do. Yeah, no, that makes sense because I took the dog bed that I had for him fit perfectly into Poppy's area. And so I used it. So there's always that feeling like, I wonder if this is okay, right? Like it's now Poppy's kind of thing.
It's okay. He doesn't need it. He's like, I don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't need that stuff anymore. And that's a very, huge question that comes up for people all the time about when to get another dog. What should I do? Is it okay to save this or give it away? And typically it's like, do what you want with it. If something's a treasure to you, then it's your business. You save it. But if you think it's better to go help another dog, let it go. It is for the most part what dogs say. So Beegs, we're going to finish up, and I love he gets the final say in all of this with Lori, is what can you tell us that people need to know that we don't always understand how talking to a dog that's passed away works. What is it that you can show me? Okay, so he has two messages. He says, and I have no idea what Lori has planned other than okay, so whatever you have up your sleeve, Lori, he's calling them big things. Like he's telling people Lori's got big things coming, but he's sort of like they're Beegs things. Get it?
Yes.
And so I love that. He's like, he's got big things coming, and he really wants everyone to keep coming in the community because Lori's got big things, Beegs things coming, that it's like, we need this community because we can do a lot. And he's like, I feel like I'm part of this. He wants keep doing this because there are big things coming.
He's the reason.
Oh my God.
He's the reason. He's the only reason I know there's animal testing in the world is because of him. He's the reason.
have you ever called it Beags things?
No, I never thought of it that way, but I really only started calling him Beaks because you said he didn't like the name Trouble, even though Trouble was his name in a fun way. Like Trouble was it was a fun connotation, but he didn't want it to be taken out of context. So then we kind of started calling him Beaks because that was his little nickname. But so I never thought about it. But he is the reason I even found out about animal testing. And so everything we do now is because of him, really. Everything I do now, not we are separate, but you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, I mean, like Beag's big things for Beagles. Anyway, he definitely wants this community, and he's talking to everyone on this call to keep doing the work for the Beagles.
Oh, I love
He
that.
really does. He really does. So, and I mean, I feel like I'm being held accountable for that too. And I hear you loud and clear, because I just told Lori at the beginning of this, I'll keep doing these. So for Lori, do you have another thing you want Lori to know? So you'll always be my girl. So Beags, is there something specific? Because that's sort of what people are looking for, is this specific. Oh, okay. Did you get a charm? Do you have a charm on your neck that's tied to him?
Yeah, I have his ashes, and I have a charm that says Trouble and Journey, and my bee, it says I love my bee on it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because I started drawing, so I made a circle around you'll always be my girl, and then I drew a circle with the line coming down, and I'm like, what's the necklace? What's on the necklace?
That's his
And
ashes.
yeah. So just touch those. He loves that he's right there. Oh my gosh, that's the big deal.
Can I hope I'm not keeping everyone, but can I ask one thing, Liz? Because that was amazing. Thank you. And I'm pretty happy that I kept it together. So thank you all for even just listening to that. But I absolutely just need to make sure that him and Journey are together.
Okay. Yes, they are. And again, I mean, especially it comes up with the faith journeys that people are on. I don't know. It's the answer that I'm giving Lori is something for her to carry on her life path. But what I'm getting from him is, yes, we're together. And then it's sort of like the sense of humor is like, I just told you to touch your neck. We're together. Okay. So I'm asking him. So he's like, what if I told you that when you go, remember how you're not, he's trying to pull you into time with him, and you said you sort of fought it. And most dogs, this is true for everyone, would rather talk to you than me because they know you. They're happy to talk to me to facilitate you developing your stronger intuitive knowing and conversations. But what he's saying, Lori, is, you have these very deep relationships with these animals, is what
Liz, you did not freeze at this moment in time. How is this happening? Liz, come back. It's the pivotal moment of my life. Hearing from my dogs. How did this just happen? Liz, we're going to wait a couple minutes because I can't do I don't want to do this. I need to hear from you. I'm typing. Liz, you're frozen. You are frozen at a pivotal moment. Oh my gosh, did we lose her? Oh, there you are. Liz. Liz, you're on mute.
I feel like it's going to come in a dream. When you go into that space, he's going to come to you directly and give you that specific detail.
Okay, hold on, Liz. You froze for that entire thing. You froze. So right as you turned around, right as you said, this is the thing he wants you to know, you froze.
Okay. He wants you to know for you, not me telling you, which is what I was saying. I hear that. For everyone, the animals would rather when he invites you, every morning and you sort of fight it, that's when when you shift, that's when you're going to get that knowing that they're together. And I just feel like you're going to see them like this dream or of seeing them together.
Okay. Okay, so I'm
Definitely.
okay. So I'm avoiding it, but it's there.
Oh
Cool.
yeah. Yeah. Yes. And that's a good example where we think like Lori may have thought that, oh, we got cut off and I said it, but I had a dog, a client, and the woman was asking about signs. And I said, it's when the church bells ring. And we were outside in a park and these church bells started ringing that hadn't rung all morning. We kept going in the session. And then she said again, well, what about dreams? I haven't had any dreams. I was really hoping he'd come in a dream. My friend's dog came in a dream. And I go, and I'm writing down, I go, no, it's when the church bells go. And they did it again. And sometimes we get the signs or the answers, but in a different way, like Chris with the tapping for Katori. He may have thought he needed whatever, but it was like, oh, try tapping. I'm like, just, you can Google it. Remember, I said, just Google it, Chris. You can hire me or I can do it, but I have to go now. Just look up, Google tapping and see if it works. I never heard from him until he was like, it works. So be open to those other things.
Yeah.
Lori is going to go have a different morning.
Yeah.
And you will get that knowing that you want very clearly.
Okay.
And I think it would be more meaningful. And I'm not trying to put her off than us doing it now because he wouldn't want that. He's going to come to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You will know in some way.
In some way, for sure I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we did it.
I know. I think we did it, and we did it, and it's like the perfect timing. And thank you, Liz, and thank you everyone out. Like, this was really awesome, and I just feel really. I just like when people share with their animals. It's just a special thing. I think it's such an intimate and special thing. And again, even though most of our town halls don't really pertain to animal testing or the advocacy against, I think the way we make a difference is by coming together and really as a community. And I feel like you gave me kind of the Beag's input on that he wanted us to be a community. So I kind of feel a little bit like we're on the right track. But I just think when we get together and talk about how important these animals are in our lives, it really can highlight what the world is doing to animals and thinking about them in ways that are less than what they are in our lives. And so I don't think it has to be about animal testing. I think it's just nice to get together and sort of celebrate the animals in our world. So thank you, Liz, for that. And thank you all of you for sharing, because I know these are pretty intimate details about all of our lives. And I really appreciate you guys sharing those things. So thank you.